What up, YouTube? Salvador Brigman here, and today we are talking about nonprofit, cause-related charity fundraising online. So how can you raise money for your charity, for your nonprofit, for you as an individual online? And I've talked a bunch about this on my blog. You can go and check out some of the websites where you can actually raise money for charity online. With this video, I want to get more in depth into the psychology. The reason that people give money online, the reason that they're willing to invest in your idea, that they're willing to go out of their way and support this cause or this in need demographic. Why is it that a stranger is willing to put money into something like a nonprofit and say, yes, I believe in what you're doing. Yes, I'm going to support it with my own money. And I've never heard of you before, but I trust you and I'm going to do that. This video is going to talk about all of that. And it's really going to try and break down and break through almost some of the conceptions that we have as a society about giving money. So I think the first conception that we have as an entire society is that charity is a something for nothing transaction. So you think of a traditional business transaction. I'm an econ, I studied econ in college, so I think of it in this framework. A traditional business transaction. I'm giving you money. You're giving me a service. You're giving me a product back in return. I expect something from you. Charity, I'm giving you $100, and there's the perception that I don't expect anything back in return because it's charity. That is not true. That is not true. What I'm expecting back from you and also from the situation is actually emotions. I'm expecting good emotions. When I give money to this homeless man or I give money to this person, I think to myself, the internal rationalizations, hey, I'm a good person. I just gave money to this person in need. Hey, this person in need is going to use that money to maybe buy food or buy water or something that they need for their life so they can eventually get back on the track of doing well and maybe some other day give money to someone else who is in need. Or I think to myself, if I'm, say, with a friend that I'm trying to impress, oh, that person is going to think I'm really cool because I gave money to this nonprofit. Or maybe these people in my local area are going to think that I'm really influential because I'm giving a bunch of money to a charity. There are a lot of different things in play when people give money to an organization. And rarely, I think 0.01%, is it just because they can and there's no agenda or reason behind it. The majority of the reason is to feel good, to feel consistent with their identity, or to cause a result in the world. If they're giving money to a nonprofit, maybe they want to see more AIDS research, or maybe they want to see, the whales, more populations of whales being saved, or they want to see some kind of tangible result with their money, and that's why they're doing it. So when you're coming from that framework, you can begin to think about the emotions that people want to feel and why they would give money to your charity in particular. Now, I'll break this down a little bit more tangibly into an example. So, for example, let's just say that you're running some kind of a nonprofit organization, a charity, and you're asking me for a donation, which is going to go to an in-need demographic. Let's just say like kids in schools, they're really in poverty-stricken areas, and this money is going to enable them to have a better education, maybe buy books or buy iPads or something like that. And I give you $800. I came across your video, maybe on Facebook, maybe on YouTube. I came across your website maybe, and I decided to give you $100 because I believe in your mission. And I'll get into that in a little bit later, why people trust you and believe in your mission. So I decided to do that. What do I expect in return? Am I just going to give you money and then literally like a black hole? I don't get any more communication. I don't hear from you again. I have no idea where that money went to. Is that the kind of experience that I want where I'm just throwing money at you? Of course not. Of course not. I am not likely to give to that organization in the future because in my mind, There are no positive emotions tied to that particular activity, to that particular individual, or to that particular organization. There's no positive, memorable thing that happened. Now let's take a different situation. Let's just say I give you that money, but in exchange, I get a handwritten thank you. I get a personalized call. I get an email with follow-ups, more information about the specific child that I helped out, or maybe a video showing how happy they are learning on their iPad or learning on their new books, and they're applying their knowledge, and all of the different impact that I have tangibly made with my money. Am I more likely to give to you again in the future? Heck yeah, of course I am, because that allowed me to feel the good emotions. You saying to me, thank you so much, we are really grateful, allows me to feel like a good person. It gives me the chance to actually think of myself and think, wow, that was a really great action. I want to do that again because I feel good doing it. Or I see how this child's life has been changed as a result of my money. It shows me that what I did had an impact, which is the reason I gave money, was to have an impact. So I see the result happening, therefore I am more likely to do it again. And this is sort of the underlying framework here, the transaction that is happening with charity fundraising and with giving online. Someone is giving money, and in exchange, they're getting emotions. So you have to think about how you're going to show people that either their money has an impact, or how you're going to allow them to feel these positive emotions and sort of encourage that they feel special. How are you going to make them feel special for having participated in this program, this initiative, etc. That's really how you create lifelong donors. So the next part here is, why is it that I thought at the very forefront that this was a cause that was worth supporting? That I actually felt something for this in-need demographic, that I actually connected with these individuals so much that I was willing to take out my checkbook, or I was willing to take out my wallet and take out my credit card and give money for this particular reason. I think it really comes down to, and I've studied a lot of different marketing tactics, there are all these different things that you can do. I also have some other videos breaking down all the different marketing strategies. But it really comes down to the story. It comes down to the story that you put out there as an organization or as an individual. Because the way that human beings relate with each other, the way that human beings feel the same emotions as another human being, is through story. If you want someone to feel the exact same way that you felt in a particular social situation, what do? You don't tell them what happened, like the objective things that went into what happened to me yesterday. You weave a story around it. And you even act it out a little bit, don't you? You act it out, you maybe have corresponding facial expressions, you change your tone of voice, and then this person said this, and I was like, what? You act out the story, and the entire telling of the story, the various characters involved, how you describe them, just the little details that you put in, allows someone to physiologically put themselves in that situation and feel the exact same things that you do. They've done studies on this, and actually portions of your brain will light up when you hear a story. That's why you go into a movie theater, you watch a horror movie, and when you come out, you can't sleep that night because you're all tense. You feel ramped up, your heart is beating. There's an actual physiological response when we hear, when we listen to, when we watch a story. The same thing goes for comedy. Comedy stories, a comedic character, or a love story even, we feel the emotions that the characters feel in that story. We feel the emotions in such a way that it's almost scary how this video or this book, this literally this thing which just has pages of text, causes us to feel real emotions. The only way you're going to get people to actually want to give money to your campaign, to your nonprofit, to your cause, is to get them to feel a certain way about what you're doing, about who you're helping, and about you. And the recipe for getting people to feel things is through story, through your imagery, through the videos that you include, through your text, the story that you tell to allow them to feel these various emotions. You might feel super passionate. You might feel really almost like it was your purpose to help this demographic, but they don't feel the same way that you do. The only way you can sort of nudge them in the direction of the same emotions you feel towards this demographic or this cause is to tell a story which sort of brings them into your world a little bit. So that is the most important thing. Make people feel things and do it through storytelling. Now the next is trust building. Trust building, I think, is just not talked about a lot online because we inherently, it's very difficult for us to go from a three-dimensional space here talking, we're in real life, to an online space and think, how do I even build trust online? I know how to do it in person, but like, how do I even get started online? So that's the next thing I want to talk about in this video, and we'll sort of cap it out with that. In terms of trust building, people use mental shortcuts in order to quickly determine who you are. So to make that more concrete, let's just say that I come to an online fundraising campaign page and I check it out. It sounded a little bit interesting. I click through the link, I go to the campaign page, and no one has backed this campaign. There are $0 pledged. No one has supported it. There are no comments. There's no activity. What am I going to think? What rationalizations am I going to have about this organization? Well, number one, maybe they're amateur. They're not serious. They're probably not going to do a lot with my money. They're new to this, probably not something that's going to have an impact. Maybe they're scammy. Maybe this isn't like a for real nonprofit. Maybe the fundraiser isn't even going on, like no one's backed it. Maybe it's just not happening. I'm going to have a lot of different rationalizations in my brain, and that's going to cause me to not back this campaign. Now at the same time, let's just say I go to that campaign page. I'm interested, I click through, go to the campaign page, and I see, whoa, they've already reached 60% of their fundraising goal. All of these people have already signed up saying that they're going to support this cause. Their funding meter is going up, and they have momentum, and there are all these positive comments, and wow, look at this. Like, there are some cool, high quality, high resolution images of the people involved in this nonprofit. And I can look into it and the various accolades that they have or the things they did in the past. And I watch the video and it just moves me. The story behind this moves me. And it's a very well put together pitch. It really shows they put time into this. They're working hard. So obviously if they're working hard at the nonprofit, at this campaign, they're probably gonna work hard once I give them their money, and they're actually going out there in the field and trying to help this in-need demographic. So you can see that snap judgments are very powerful online. Like, you'll probably already even have some snap judgments about me, could be positive or negative. It's very important to recognize the way that other people are viewing your campaign page, because that's number one, what's going to develop trust is putting together a page that has a lot of transparent information. Transparent information about your team, about who you are, about what area of the world, where this money is going towards, various accolades that you have, projects that you've put on in the past, media mentions that you have. Any way that you can build credibility in the eyes of your potential supporters is going to go a long way, and it's going to help you create that trust. The other thing that I would recommend is having people say, oh yes, I've supported these other projects and that this organization has put on and I loved it. Having testimonials. If it's a personal fundraising campaign like on Gofundme, even having someone run the campaign on your behalf, that's a really big trust building action. in the concept of nonprofits, also making sure that you add personality into the pitch, that this isn't just some faceless nonprofit organization. You don't know who the director is, you don't really know who's running this thing. Having a face that people can relate to, having the face of someone who's passionate, who really is working hard at this activity, that they really take it seriously. That allows people to connect with you because it shows them that there is a group of dedicated people behind this organization. So I hope that the ways that you view online giving and the ways that you view nonprofit giving have been changed just a little bit throughout this video, and maybe it sparked some ideas in terms of ways that you can emotionally connect with your backers, with your supporters, and with your donors. You know, I could be talking about this for a really long time. There's a lot of information that is out there. If you would like more of a step-by-step program, you can go and check out my Gofundme fundraising course. That can be at crowdcrux.com/GoFundMe waitlist. I'll include a link also in the YouTube video if you want to check that out. But in addition, I have some other videos on YouTube you can check out on nonprofit fundraising, on online giving, and of course I have Nonprofit Crowdfunding Explained, my book out there on Amazon. I have Crowdfunding Personal Expenses, my book out there. So there's a lot of information that you can draw from when you're putting together this campaign. I invite you to leave a comment down below if you do have any specific questions for me, and if you would like me to cover any other topics on this YouTube channel, let me know in the comments down below. And finally, if you want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. You'll get an email every single time I come out with a new video. But again, my name is Sal. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video, and I'll see you next time.